Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen.
Get him
At least
into this area, chat for a minute if you're comfortable.
The Ghost team and I are back with an all-new investigation.
I'm not a predator, bud, I promise.
You're not a predator.
I'm glad you guys are here and not some predator.
And wait until you hear the tales this guy tells.
I'm kind of looking for my sister.
I'm thinking you came over here to have sex with a 15-year-old girl.
It's absolutely not gonna happen.
Well, not now.
I hope you're enjoying this full free episode of Takedown, but there's something else you need to know. Only a small portion of our episodes are on YouTube. There are more than 100 episodes on our streaming service, ad-free and uncensored, at watchtruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube24 to watch them all for $2.50 or YouTube Year for $20 off an annual subscription. Also, and this is important, hit the subscribe button below, and we'll see you soon on TruBlu. I'm back in Michigan with the Ghost team for the latest child predator investigation.
For those of you guys who haven't been a part, all the magic happens in that chat room.
While the chatters are online messaging with men looking for sex with an underage girl, my team gets the sting house ready, and no detail has been overlooked.
My goal is there, sitting here. But if we do go here, that's as long as we're covered here.
And we have a GoPro up there.
While my crew adds the finishing touches, Lieutenant Andy Snyder gives me a quick briefing about a man coming to have sex with a 15-year-old girl.
Now, or I have to go back to work. You're beautiful. I said I'm 15, just need a little cash. Yes, where you're at, Flint by the mall. Does he want me to come then? Yes, for the address.
The guy on his way is 38-year-old Stosh, and he's about to be here quicker than getting a pizza delivered. So I get with the decoy to come up with our game plan. We've blurred her face to protect her identity.
Do one thing here, so if you can get him
At least
into this area, chat for a minute if you're comfortable. Which way are you gonna go when you're done?
I can snag right and go right up here.
I'm just gonna grab my vape or do whatever, and then I'll scoot right in here. And I'm going to try and get him in that on the stool here. We have a 38-year-old man, or somebody who says they're 38, coming over in a matter of minutes to meet a 15-year-old girl. Sexually explicit conversation. We don't know that much about him. He's a fast mover, but we're about to find out.
While we wait for Stosh to arrive, I want to get a good look at the text chain, so I'm armed with the transcript when I confront him. He starts off asking if the girl is in Flint. He says he can come now and just wants a 5 to 10 minute quickie. The chatter tells him she's younger, but he's not fazed and asks if she's ready now. The decoy asks how old he is. He tells her he's 38. Again, she says she's younger, but he says he's cool with that and no drama. The decoy reveals she's only 15. Stosh tells her again he can come over now or go back to work. Instead of going back to work, he says he's now just 15 minutes away. He's an eager one, all right. Everyone gets into position as the decoy awaits Stosh's arrival, but also waiting for Stosh is me. He pulls into the driveway and heads for the door, but he's not here to make a midday food delivery.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you? Yeah, that door's, it may shut, it may not. It's really weird. Sorry it's cold in here right now. I don't know what's going on with the thermostat. So it's, I don't know, it's super cold. I'm just gonna run and plug my phone in for a sec. If you wanna go over there, there's some snacks. I just got some candy. The Jolly Ranchers are super good.
As Stosh has a look around the house, I make my entrance before he can get any further.
How you doing? Good, how are you? Do you have a seat right over there? On the stool? What's happening?
I was just wondering what's going on here.
Why'd you come here?
I wanted to save a little girl.
Save a little girl?
Yeah.
Save a little girl from what?
From whatever the hell's going on here.
What do you think's going on here?
No idea.
Stosh, Coming to save a little girl is one of the oldest excuses in the book. Let's try this again.
Why did you come here?
Like I said, to save a little girl.
Save a little girl.
Yes, sir.
And what is your name?
Stosh then tells me a blatant lie, that his name is Josh with a J when in fact we know it's Stosh. Either way, let's watch as he tries to dig himself out of this one.
And what is your name?
Josh.
Josh. And Josh, what do you do for a living?
Roofing.
Roofing. Mm-hmm. And tell me about the conversation you had with this little girl here.
I just texted.
Texted?
Wanted to know what was going on. She said she needed help. She's 15 years old. I'm coming to see what's going on.
And did you talk about sex online?
I mean, I'm not looking to have sex with a little girl, that's for sure.
Well, you're here, Josh.
Like I said, I'm just looking to save somebody if they needed some help.
If they needed some help.
Yes, sir.
Very noble of you, Stosh, but as always, I'm not buying it.
Now,
Doing a job local, I'm not
doing a job. Where are you doing the job?
just, we're doing a roof in Flint.
A roof in Flint.
Yes, sir.
And you decided just to take a break from the roofing job and come over here and have sex with a 15-year-old girl.
I'm not gonna have sex with a little girl.
Well, what were you gonna do?
I went to go get a tire.
Yeah.
I seen something pop up on my stupid little feed.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I was like, huh, interesting.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about this thing that popped up on your stupid little feed?
Well, I mean, little sexual picture, and then somebody, you know.
A little sexual picture.
Right.
Of a little girl.
Right.
Somebody who is obviously underage.
Right. I'm not a predator, bud, I promise.
You're not a predator.
No, sir.
Well, you're here, Josh.
Like I said, I'm not here to, I don't have a fucking condom or anything, bud.
Thanks for clearing that up, Stosh, but I've seen the chats.
But
Okay,
your chat says...
Like I said, I'm looking to come help.
You're looking to come help.
Yes, sir.
And how many times has something popped up on your feed, Josh, and you've decided to come over and help?
It's kind of gross.
It's kind of gross?
All the time, yes.
You know what's gross, Josh? What's gross is that, how old are you?
I'm 38.
A 38-year-old man would come to a house where he thinks a 15-year-old girl is home alone to try to have
That's
sex.
not what I'm looking to do.
Okay, will you tell me what you're looking to do? What was your plan here? What were you going to do specifically?
Make sure if she was okay, give her a little bit of money.
Give her a little bit of money.
Yes, sir.
How much money were you going to give her?
Whatever she needed. I was going to offer a ride somewhere.
You're going to
Get
offer
her out
her a
of
ride?
here if she's in trouble. If she's in a drug house. If she's being held. Okay, my sister disappeared. I'm kind of looking for my sister. Okay? Be honest. I'm not looking to touch a little girl. I have a little 15-year-old, 14-year-old girl, bud.
You do?
Yes, sir.
You have children?
Yes.
And how would you feel if somebody came over to a house where one of your 14 or
I think
15-year-old girls
would be pretty freaking crazy.
You'd be
yes.
pretty freaking crazy.
Yes.
So you understand how I'm
And I'm
feeling
glad
right
you
now.
guys are here and not some predators. So
You see how that sort of sounds disingenuous to
I
me,
would
right?
imagine, yeah. But I mean,
It sounds like
I have
you're
a 30-year-old
giving me a-
sister
yeah.
disappeared.
I'm sorry to hear
can't
that. I
find her.
truly am.
Kind of look.
So Josh, you have two daughters,
Yes.
14 and 15.
No, I have a 14-year-old and I have a 18-year-old.
A 14 and 18-year-old daughter. You have two daughters.
Yes, sir.
Do they live here in the area?
No. My sister that I'm looking for, her name is Rachel, and she's in her mid-30s, and she's dark hair, and she went missing in Jackson. She went to Jackson.
Right.
Lived in Jackson, Grass Lake.
A man coming to meet a 15-year-old girl for sex under the guise of looking for his alleged missing sister is one scenario I've not heard of before. Let's go back to the text transcripts, though.
You said in the chat that you wanted to come over for a 5 to 10 minute quickie.
I mean, what else do you say? I mean, you're looking to get over there, right? Looking to find out what's going on. We're gonna make sure it's not my sister.
Okay. Now, did it look like your sister in the picture?
I mean, they're really hard to see.
Really hard to see, but you could tell that it was someone who was probably
Mid-30s.
underage. No, the picture doesn't look like mid-30s, Josh. I've seen the picture.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it just dark hair, complected, younger.
15-year-old girl.
It didn't look like a 15-year-old.
She
girl.
told you she was 15.
Well, I mean, regardless, I'm not coming over here to play the little kid. I promise.
You said you'd be in and out of here in 5 to 10 minutes. You said you had to come now, otherwise you had to go back to work.
I do. Yes.
Right.
I mean, I'm not looking to do anything to a kid, sir.
I know, but you see how this looks, Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were me, what would you think?
I would think that, some people aren't out to do harm.
But that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you came over here to have sex with a 15-year-old girl.
It's absolutely not gonna happen.
Well, not now.
It's never gonna happen. It never has and never will. Never.
You seemed awfully anxious in the chat to come over here and have sex.
Well, I wanted
She
to
asks
see,
if you're
I wanted to
clean.
come
You said,
over.
yes, I'm clean.
Right.
So that's why you don't
It's
have
not-
condoms.
It's not what we're gonna do, I promise.
What was going to happen if I wasn't here, Josh? And
I was gonna ask her if everything's okay. I was gonna ask her if she needed a ride somewhere. I was gonna go.
Have you ever met someone online for sex in the past?
No, not for that purpose. I have done this before, though.
You have done this before?
Yes.
And what purpose?
Like I said, I'm looking for somebody that needs help. Hopefully, maybe my sister one day.
And if she was willing to have sex with you?
Like I said, I would have just offered her a ride, asked her if she needed some help back home.
But why the talk about the quickie? You talk about how cute
And she was the one leading into it, bud. I was just trying to get over here. I assure you. I'm not trying to do anything negative, I promise.
I know, but that belies everything that I've seen in the chat.
Why
and the
am I
fact that
being
you feel-
recorded? Can we please stop?
After the tangled web that Stosh has tried to weave, it's time to tell him exactly who I am.
This is for my television show. I'm Chris Hansen, and we do a series called Takedown,
Okay.
where we go after men who try to have sex with children.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want people to know about your predicament?
I'm definitely not looking to touch a child ever.
But you see how this looks.
I understand this, sir.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
All right. These fellas would like to talk to you.
Okay.
Hey, Josh, go ahead and stand up. I'll put your hands right there. Lieutenant Snyder with the sheriff's office. Just be cool to us. We'll be cool to you. Do you have any items in your car? Like rope, shovels? Were you here to hurt anybody?
No, sir. We've heard this type of excuse before, and while it may be true that Josh's sister is missing, it still doesn't make sense to either me or the detectives here that he would just come over here after meeting somebody online after a sexually charged conversation for sex looking for his sister. It just doesn't wash.
Stosh was charged with child abusive commercial activity, accosting a child for immoral purposes, and communicating with another via the internet to commit a crime. We'll keep you posted on his court appearances. Given the wild claims and excuses made by Stosh, I get with Lieutenant Andy Snyder for a debrief.
Lieutenant, this conversation took place on a site known for hookups. Prostitution.
Right.
And there's no question that this guy Josh knew he was dealing with somebody who was underage.
He did. It was indicated in the text that the decoy was 15 years old.
And
He stated he was 38.
38, which he admitted in the interview.
Yes.
And he was coming over here for a quickie.
Yeah, he said he was in a 5 to 10 minute quickie and he had to get back to work. It appears he had like some kind of work truck with ladders and whatnot in the back.
He told me he was a roofer, which seems to add up in terms of the overall story. The fact that a guy moves so quickly, what does that indicate to you? That he's done this before, that he's familiar with the system of doing this?
It means that he's done this before and he's comfortable doing it. It seems like it's part of his routine, if you say, or his lifestyle.
He's got daughters of his own. We've seen that before.
We've seen it a lot.
He tried to give me the excuse that he had a 30-some-year-old sister who was missing, though he didn't know specifically how old his sister was, just said mid-30s and brown hair. And that he was coming here just to make sure this wasn't his sister, even though he said that the picture looked to be someone who was underage. Does all this sound like a badly concocted excuse to you?
Very poorly. That's a very poor story.
And what do you think would have happened had we not been here and a 15-year-old girl been here home alone with Josh?
I would be willing to bet he'd have sex with her.
Okay.
Stosh's story about his sister being missing wasn't adding up, so we searched missing person databases and didn't find anyone named Rachel in their mid-30s that has been reported missing in Michigan. We also searched his social media sites for any public pleas to find his sister. Nothing. The Ghost team is currently investigating these claims as well. Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson knows an alleged child predator will say anything and will make up any excuse when faced with the fact that they've been caught.
Here's a guy who was a contractor working nearby, who walked in claiming he wanted to save this 15-year-old girl, and then comes up with a backstory about his sister being missing. And he occasionally answers these ads to see if he will find his missing sister. Do you buy any of that?
No, and it is a built-in alibi because they know deep down they're going to get caught. And so it's pre-programmed. He knew going into all the other scenarios that he probably went into before with, if this ever happens, this is what I'm going to say. It's pre-programmed, premeditated.
I found it interesting that he went on about his sister, but when asked about his sister, he could only say that she was in her 30s.
Yeah.
If it's your sister, you know how old she is.
Because psychologically, they do not want to recognize they're either telling a lie or they're covering something up. And he had kids, he had a family, and from start to the time he showed up was 30 minutes. When you look at people that are so aggressive, so eager, it's because they can't stop thinking about it. It's been on their mind. The opportunity presents, and they fulfill that. That's how fast it can happen to your kids when they get online, they go to an app, and they have their first contact. It could happen in less than 30 minutes.
Watch TruBlu.com is home to previous episodes of Takedown with Chris Hansen, true crime documentaries, and exclusive investigations. And find TruBlu streaming on the Roku channels by searching True Crime.